Ysalamir were creatures in Star Wars Legends that were four-legged, lizard-like creatures that could actually create a bubble around them that would repel the Force. One of them up to around 10 meters, and the bubble would grow with the more Ysalamir that were in a general area. These creatures were first introduced to us in the Heir to the Empire novel trilogy by Timothy Zahn. This trilogy focused around Thrawn, and he utilized these creatures in a few different ways. He utilized them to control a Jedi clone, Joruus C'baoth, that he had working for him, working with him, however you want to say it, however you want to phrase it. They were working for each other, hated each other, y'all know how it goes. Great novels, by the way. I highly recommend the Heir to the Empire trilogy. That's a side note. But they were also planted all over Mount Tantiss, enough so that when Luke Skywalker approached Mount Tantiss late in the novels, he was actually subdued really easily from quite a long distance. These are interesting and intriguing creatures because we don't really have anything like them either in Star Wars canon or anything else like them in Star Wars Legends. And they don't negate or eliminate the Force. Rather, they just create a bubble that once you walk inside of, the Force, your senses just go away. It kind of, again, repels the Force. And these could be worn or carried around by non-Force users to help negate the Force. Like, how would Thrawn deal with a Luke Skywalker who could just pick him up and throw him across the room with the Force? How would Thrawn deal with Joruus C'baoth? He would just carry Ysalamir with him. Also, there's no real way to pronounce it. I could not find a proper explanation. Let me know if you could. But yeah, a non-Force user could carry these things around and repel the Force of Force users. Thrawn and one other notable person, this was from a comment on one of my recent fanfictions. They asked, what if Grievous wore Ysalamir while fighting Jedi? And I think it begs an interesting question, maybe an interesting whole what if scenario, what if video, but for right now I just want to explore the concept. Maybe if we just decide we're going to talk about Legends Grievous and then some canon, you can just think of whatever Grievous you kind of want to. But the one we saw in Legends is extremely powerful, a duelist that can match up with most Jedi. His disadvantage, of course, is, well, his cybernetics. He's not human. And his lack of the Force. The Jedi were able to use the Force against Grievous. It was easier to fight him than Count Dooku because Dooku could, use the Force against him. Simple as that. But Grievous simply had the 4 lightsabers. But you attach an Ysalamir on Grievous's back. What happens? The Force is negated for whatever Jedi he's fighting. And Grievous has killed countless Jedi. Countless. Throughout the Clone Wars, he was perhaps the most feared person around the galaxy. General Grievous, the cyborg. 4 lightsabers, but no Force abilities. Now, how do you make that match even? You give him an Ysalamir. And in the battle with Obi-Wan, I think he wins if Obi-Wan can't use the Force. I really do. To pull in the blaster or just to push Grievous back a few times. If he's wearing an Ysalamir and he's able to just negate Kenobi's presence, I think he has him beat no problem. And I also think he has others beat. Like, you could go beginning of episode 3. What if Grievous, while on board the Invisible Hand, took out one of or all of Anakin, Obi-Wan, or Chancellor Palpatine, who I don't think he knew was Sidious? If in the movie, Grievous made a move to kill Palpatine, Palpatine would have sensed it, of course, because he would be using the Force, and been able to stop it. But let's say in the movies, we see Grievous make a move and try to actually kill Palpatine, put a lightsaber through him, or Dooku gets in the way, says, we're not doing that. He's able to duel Dooku. And Dooku is, I think, truly up there with the best duelists, but take away his Force abilities, is he matching up to a 4 lightsaber General Grievous cyborg in an even match without the Force? Is anyone matching up to a 4-armed General Grievous without using their Force abilities? It's a super interesting question. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who are you taking in a battle? General Grievous with an Ysalamir on his back, or Count Dooku without the Force? If it's an obvious Grievous, what do you have to add to make Dooku win? I would love for you to let me know. It's a super, super interesting point, because Grievous in the Clone Wars, Grievous in the movies, he's not all that great. He's very evenly matched, seemingly, with whoever he fights, whether it's Ahsoka, Kit Fisto, whatever, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. But you put him up against those guys on an even ground, and Grievous, the great duelist that I think he is, has 4 lightsabers. It might be over for the Jedi. That could potentially be one of the most overpowered characters in Star Wars. Grievous, Legends Grievous, with an Ysalamir on his back. I mean, come on. Or maybe he infused some Ysalamir blood into his whatever, you know? However you want to make it work. It's a really interesting concept that I might dig more into someday. Maybe I'll do something along the lines of, what if Palpatine came up with this idea, attached one to Grievous's back, and used him instead of Vader as his right-hand man? Of course, Grievous can't really be a Sith without the Force, but who are you taking? In a 1v1, Grievous with an Ysalamir or Vader without the Force? It's such a tough question to answer, truly, because the Force, it not only helps with Jedi pushing him around and stuff, but battle meditation, battle focus, being able to just use just everything. The Force revolves around how Jedi fight, and Grievous getting to negate that, I think, is a super interesting theory. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll do a whole video on this. Well, I guess that's what I'm doing, but Ysalamir, very interesting creature, lizard-looking thing that Thrawn utilized in the trilogy. All right, that's all. Let me know what you think. Again, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.